am so grateful to Ms. Magazine, but I think the critical message really is that the media forms us as it informs us. Ms. Magazine is here, it has been here, it's going to be here.
Thank you, and it's a real honor and privilege to be here. As Gloria said, we are celebrating our 50th year of publishing Ms. The Feminist Majority Foundation is now the owner and publisher of the magazine. We've had it for the past 20 years. But 50 years ago, a group of feminists, activists, got together, led by Gloria Steinem, wanting to establish a magazine that reflected women's lives, centered women's lives and experiences, and had a feminist lens always on the reporting and the work that it did. And it immediately, when it hit the newsstands, it sold out in 3 weeks. It was an extraordinary moment in time, 1972, at just the right moment, when the movement was really taking off, the feminist movement, and it became a source of ideas and inspiration and connection. Just as you said, it created a real community around these stories, these issues, these ideas. And it plugged into a relatively new revolution that was just taking off. In fact, we have a book coming out, I'd be remiss if I didn't say, in September. And the title of the book is 50 Years of Ms, the best of the pathfinding magazine that ignited a revolution. And it did provide so many of the ideas and the inspiration for the work that has followed. It's been part of the movement. It's a movement within a movement, feminist media. And it was the first magazine to put anything out about abortion. It led with a petition signed by 50 well-known women who said they had had abortions, many of them admitting to having illegal abortions at the time. And it just totally changed the nature of the abortion rights fight. That was before 1973, before Roe v. Wade, because it made visible what had been invisible. And the Washington Post said that that petition, which started, and that thousands of women filled out the coupon that was in the magazine and sent it into the magazine saying they too had had abortions. It changed the course of the movement. And even to this day, how critical it is to have a magazine that is looking at the political forces that are fighting against this autonomy that women must have to lead independent lives and to lead their full lives and to lead healthy lives. Ms. was the first to put sexual harassment on the cover of the magazine, 40 years before the Me Too movement, defining sexual harassment, even before the Supreme Court said that sexual harassment was a violation of Title VII of the Civil Rights Act. Ms. put a woman's face on the cover having been battered and was the first to use the word femicide for the murder of women by men. It has led in so many different ways and in so many different times. And this could not be a more critical time to have Ms. and to have this kind of in-depth analysis and reporting that we do about what is happening to drive this backlash. The backlash is not just here in this country, it's worldwide. And in fact, Ms. has always reported globally about women's lives, but also the feminist movements all over the world, and how the movements are working together to advance equality. But we are in a time of tremendous backlash. The Dobbs decision, the increasing abortion bans at the state level. We still don't have political equality. We're about 28% of Congress. And in many of the states, by the way, that are passing the worst bans, women are only about 17% of the people who are getting to vote on the bans and whether or not they should be put into law. So to have equality at these decision-making tables, which you so focus on, is so critical. Political power to addressing so many of the problems that remain and so many of the inequities that remain. But I will say this, that I think that in reversing Roe versus Wade, and in the ongoing backlash against women's equality that we are seeing at the Supreme Court and in lower courts and in many of these state legislatures, history will say it was a fatal mistake for our opponents. Because it has awakened, as nothing else could have probably, a determination to fight back. Women are fighting back in extraordinary ways. In extraordinary ways, and what you're doing here today and what you do with your lives is all very critical part of that. We need more feminists in power. We need more feminist women in power, making movies, telling stories, running companies, running for office. Because until we share power and have access to real power, we're going to continue to be the victims of this backlash. But we're not victims, we're fighters. And as Gloria taught me, we're not only fighting the backlash, we're fighting forward. And that's what we're here to do. And I hope that all of you join Ms. If you're not a member, pick up a copy of the magazine out front, and there's a card inside. This is a famous cover that was done by Barbara Kruger in 1992, after the Anita Hill hearings and Clarence Thomas ascending to the Supreme Court. Rage plus women equals power. And I think that is no more true than it is today. And on the back, there's a QR code. If you go to the website, you can sign up for your first year of Ms. free. We want you to be part of this community. There is so much work to do. There's many accomplishments to celebrate, but there's so much work to do, and we need everybody with us. And so I hope that if you're not already a member of the Ms. community, that you become a member and you join this community of feminists working for social change, equality, and progress. Thank you.